Yeah, mic check 1, 2, 3, testing. You could try playing them in a video, see if it's choppy right now. Just test. How's it going, everybody? I am Preston Johnson. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV.
As a general philosophy.
That's exactly right. You're a fish. Qwan, by the way, my producer, Qwan Young, doing a good job. He'll be taking the calls. How you doing today, bud?
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm trying to give away $25,000. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Welcome to the show, Bets TV, bringing you Last Word Cheetah. Cheetah brought to you by Bets TV and Diet Dr. Pepper today. Welcome, Qwan Young, producing over there on the side, co-hosting with me. Friday is his fifth favorite day of the week. I'm not sure what. No, I think you already botched that earlier. It's his fifth favorite day of the week. It's one of my favorite. I have a nice night planned, getting a little bit excited. I'm a little nervous. Got a nice dinner with a group of people from Twitter, and I was getting a little girly yesterday. In fact, I actually went and got my hair cut this morning, beard trim, manicure. That's right. You heard that. I'm not ashamed. Manicure. I'm feeling good. I think it's good prep for the show, too. I might be doing this more frequently. It put me in a good place. This is the show. We take your calls. We talk through your bets. We had a bunch of calls yesterday and a lot of losers. So we apologize to those following the callers. But they had gone on a nice run after that crazy June finish. They had been hot the first 3 days this week. And so, it's due. It's part of the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows. But 661-515-BETS is the line. You guys can call in, talk about the games you like tonight. It's mostly baseball. We don't have NHL anymore. NBA games not till Sunday for Game 3. If you want to talk it through, though, because it is the weekend and you want to pick the Sunday game now, we can lock you in if you prefer to go that route than on baseball, or if there's some random tennis, golf, soccer that you want to fire. We give away money at the end of the month to the top person, so we're not just taking your calls and talking them through. There's that. But we're also going to track them and see who the best bettors are out there. So we'll open up the lines as usual, and we'll get into that. By the way, I just got a reminder that somehow since over the course of yesterday and today, this is one of the more unlikely events that have occurred in my lifetime. But a fly made its way into the studio. And I'm trying to figure this out because we have a studio space in a big office building on the 4th floor. The only way up to it is through an elevator. And then there's like at least 100 doors on this floor that it could. How did it go from outside getting through the main entrance into an elevator, somehow leaves on the 4th floor, somehow finds our corner niche studio section, and then even here there's 3 doors it could have gone through, and somehow it found our way in this. Like, it's a 1 in a million shot, like, at least. I've been baffled over this for the last 15 minutes since we realized there was a fly buzzing around. So you may see our friend the fly, but I'm trying to compare it to some betting long shot, and I think the chances of this just are on another level that I just really haven't ever seen before.
Maybe the fly wants to bet, and he knows that this is the place to be. Oh, I just saw it. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. You can get it during the show to take it down.
Listen, what's the bet that the fly doesn't make it the whole way through the show?
Ooh, that's not a bad one. We were actually going to maybe do a challenge as well. We were talking paper football out of the blue yesterday, and we were going to try to get some paper footballs going into like the helmet or something. The problem is we tested a few paper football shots, and me and Qwan are just, way past our prime. Been like 20 years since we fired one of those up. Couldn't get any lift. We decided we don't want to embarrass ourselves like we did for hot dogs. But if you can somehow capture this fly live, I will put what number? How many hundreds? Let me see how much I have on me. How much should we put in the jar for the July callers? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I got all right, I'm not going to put all 800 because I need maybe a couple hundred of the dinner tonight. But if you can catch this fly while producing over there by the time Ray calls, because we're talking SEC with Ray at 1:30. So you got 26 minutes. I'll put 500 in the jar. All right, we got it right here.
The callers, please, I'm trying not to let you down, but I'm going to tell you, not going to happen.
It's $500, Qwan. You got to do it. You got to do it for the callers.
It's a lot happening over in this station. I do want to talk about your paper football making skills.
First try.
Yeah, first try, and it's slick. Do we? We don't have an example of it because we kicked it.
I tossed it. I got rid of it. I was so mad and angry that I couldn't flick it anymore. I shot it way past the camera. I will say, considering it was the first time in years, it speaks to how frequently I was folding paper footballs, and it just it's like riding a bike, man.
Yeah,
you just fold it right up, no problem. It was pretty good, considering you got the paper you used was like a 2 out of 10. Obviously, there's different levels to the type of paper. We'll get on to some sports talk, guys. We appreciate the intro. It's Friday. We're having fun. 661-515-BETS, again, is the phone line. We'll pop them open. We'll listen to your calls. You guys can compete for potentially at least $500 in the jar if we can catch this fly by 1:30. We'll have some other contests and challenges we do throughout the month. There is already $90 in the jar regardless because Qwan couldn't eat even anywhere close to 15 and a half hot dogs for our little July 4th celebration. I do want to talk a little Suns-Bucks finals game 2. I'm not sure I've ever seen, again, and I said this after game 1 because we saw Giannis's knee go the other direction, and him just playing in game 1 alone and looking somewhat competent, really was impressive. So I had to give him some love. And then game 2, he comes out, what do you have, like a 20-point third quarter. He drops 42 and 12. if Middleton didn't only score 11, like Middleton had been carrying him for multiple games in a row. He only scores 11. I think Drew Holiday, I think combined they were 12 of 37 from the field. So just under 33%. You even wasted a Pat Connaughton 14-point bench game. He hit 4 threes off the bench. Normally, he's trying, guys. He is trying. He's trying to get this. He had a minute. He's trying. Normally, if you get a Giannis 42-point game and Pat scoring 14 off the bench, you're going to be in good shape. But this didn't line up. The Suns ended up taking care of business. It goes over on some fouls late in the final minute, and the Suns cover. So they are up 2-0. I'm not surprised we've seen the line move open 3.5 in game 3. 2 - 4. I'm a little bit surprised that we have seen the total a little bit higher. Now, I understand, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, that, hey, if they're not going to play Brook Lopez as frequently, I believe he played 27 minutes. And that means without Saric for the Suns because of his injury in game 1, the Suns are going to have to match and go small as well. There's going to be more pace and just likely more scoring, more shooting in general on the floor. I didn't see, necessarily that being the case outside of the fact there was definitely more shooting on the floor, and the Suns hit 50%. I believe 20 of 40 was their number. So they're probably not shooting 50% from 3 again. I don't know. That's my direction. My personal numbers, my projections make this closer to 218. Now we're getting like 222 on a total that I think is a little bit reactionary. I think people anticipate the Bucks to come back, bounce back. They're at home. It's a huge spot down 2-0. So I agree with that move slightly up to the 4 as far as the spread is concerned. But the total, I could only look under. That's my early feel, I should say, for the game that is not until Sunday. They're taking an extra day off, which is beneficial for Giannis and the Bucks as well, I think. By the way, other good news before we hit our first break and we start opening up the calls. We'll start taking them after. I'm a hot sauce connoisseur. I'm not sure if I've actually told you that before.
Yeah.
Like I've tried hundreds of hot sauces.
What's the best?
That's like asking me what my favorite song is.
What's your favorite song?
There's zero shot I could give you one song and feel confident and not feel bad about the hundreds of others that I enjoy. Like I couldn't give you one hot sauce and just be like, yep, that's it. There's no other that compares. There's just so many. What?
1 minute.
Oh, all right. I thought you were giving me like a let's go habanero, whatever. So I got this new one from this. Actually, you remember how you told me I would remember while I was doing the fast lemonade diet, things would pop up. So of course YouTube puts this great, grilled cheese guy used to do a grilled cheese truck in Brooklyn, New York, and he's showing how to do his recipe. And they use this hot sauce that is Brooklyn Grange. It's a green one. Anyways, I wanted to check it out, but I thought it got lost. It's been like a couple weeks. It got delivered. I'm not kidding. Everything's fine, guys. 26 minutes ago, it's at my house. So I'm going to survive. That's what I'm saying, man. Today's going to be a good day. Tonight's going to be a good night. It's going to be a good weekend. We are going to talk to you guys on the other side. We'll take a break here in a few. This is Last Word Cheetah. We're brought to you by Bets TV, by Dr. Pepper as well. Welcome Game Plus Network for those tuning in there. Stay tuned. Bad news, folks. Qwan did not capture the fly during the break. He had a 2-minute stretch. He had potential. That was one of the, I think, opportunities he had for this 500 I was going to put in the jar for callers. Unsuccessful. We'll have a couple more breaks, 2 more, in fact, before 1:30 cutoff. $500, Qwan. You need to make it happen. We do have some calls on the line. We'll start with, are we taking Sarab first? Is that what you said? Cool, Sarab. Welcome to the show. Last word, Cheetah. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing well, man. How about you?
We're good. Another first. By the way, you obviously don't know this. We don't talk offline outside of the show, but I had you in mind. I know you called in yesterday. You're this first quarter over master in the NBA playoffs. You never lose. And with 43 points scored and about 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter, I texted Qwan and I said, Sarab, too good. Like, just is what it is. 2.5 minutes later, 1 point had been scored. They were sitting 44. And I said, wow, I jinxed him. But immediately reverse jinxed it back for you. They hit 3 straight threes, and you got the Bobby Portis tip in to avoid the push. I think it landed 56 with about 5 seconds left. So you got 11 in that final minute in like 10 seconds or so. So well done. You're still, I think, now 4 or 5-0 on those first quarter overs. You were only one of 2 winners yesterday. So tell us what you like today. Are you going baseball or are you going elsewhere?
No, I want to pick that Sunday game again, man. The NBA is coming to a close.
Of course you do. Why didn't I know that? Hold on a second. Let me see if we even have a first quarter line. Okay, we do. I can give you 54.5. I can give you 54.5.
People had a 54.5. Yeah, I was watching that game yesterday, and like you said, they had like 40 with 4 minutes left, and then they got ice cold, and I think they needed like 11 in that last minute. It was a crazy one. So
take it, man. And the reason they went ice cold is just because I had texted Qwan. I was just like, man, how does he just wins these every single time? And then I had to make you sweat. Nice work. We'll lock you in 54.5. I can give you minus 108 even on the juice there. That's at Pinnacle. And yeah, we'll see if you can go for like 6 straight first quarter overs. Good work.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, take care. Have a good weekend. He really doesn't lose. We got someone else up? No, we're good. All right, 661-515-BETS is the line. We're open for the next 10 minutes or so, and we do have someone now. Okay, well done, whoever's calling in, making my job easier. Welcome to the show. Who are we talking with right now?
Hello?
Yeah, we got you, man. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? It's Carlos again on a Friday. What's up?
Carlos, how you doing? We're good. We're good. What did you have yesterday? I don't recall off the top of my head.
I took an L. I had Milwaukee with the points.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I gave you the 5 minus 115. Man, it's tough to. If you had known you were going to get 42 from Giannis, a banged up Giannis, like you would have loved +5 there, right? I can't believe that one didn't come through.
Absolutely. You can't do everything though, man. Middleton kind of, didn't do his thing, and they are going down 0-2 home, 0-2. Not good. They definitely gotta win. The next time they play, which is what, tomorrow, I believe, or Sunday?
They play Sunday. They actually get an extra day on the switch over to Milwaukee.
Well, they need it. So
are you going to the Sunday game, or are you going to pick today? Are you going to pick baseball?
I'm going to pick today. No, I'm going to pick today. I'm going back to a little bread and butter. WNBA. I like Seattle minus 6.5.
Okay. Is there a reason why?
If I could tell you that they haven't covered in 6 straight. Or 5 straight or something like that.
Carlos, you do this every single time. Is what you do when you wake up in the morning just look to see who has like the biggest losing streak and just go the other way?
Somebody's due.
Somebody's always due.
Exactly.
Did you hear the roulette story? Did you hear my roulette story,
yes,
Carlos?
I did hear your roulette story,
okay.
And I hate roulette. I like craps. Craps is my game, so
I'll give you 6.5. I got to go minus. Oh no, I found a minus 110. I just looked at the screen. So you'll have a flat 6.5. It is 7 a lot of shops, so you're getting a little bit better there. Going up against Phoenix. I watched Seattle's last game. Forget who they were playing. Was it Indiana? Just 2 nights ago.
The Sparks. No, they
played it was Los Angeles. You're right. It was the Sparks. They were massive
15,
favorites.
I knew that was too much. Yeah, it was 15. I knew it was too many points, and I didn't take the Sparks.
Well, they were up 13-15 for it seemed like the majority of the game. And I was at a dinner, and it was just on behind the bar. I'm a degenerate. I'm watching WNBA behind the bar and being rude to the people in my company I'm with. And I look, and it was a 1-point game all of a sudden. I turned for 4 minutes, and so the Sparks made it interesting. I think it ended up landing 8 or 9. But we'll see if Seattle can bounce back. We'll lock you in at 6.5, Carlos. Well done. Good luck, and enjoy your weekend.
Okay. Guys, have a great weekend.
Thanks, man.
You think Carlos got help from his daughter today?
Daughter's like, you got to go WNBA. Yeah, that's. I mean, it sounds. I mean, Carlos, we know.
Listen, man,
we
there's
know.
no shame in it.
She's like 2-0, and he's like 1-8. We gotta go.
She knows that nobody's due.
Without fail. We don't have someone else on the line,
No,
do we?
nobody.
Okay. 661-515-BETS. We'll take your guys' calls for the next few minutes still before we have Ray on at 1:30 to talk SEC football. Cubs lost 10 in a row. He goes Cubs plus 130. I thought I was like, helping him out. And then he goes with the Rockies thing. He's like, 9 straight games have gone under, I think, and so he went with an over. He actually won that one, so I think he's thinking, all right, I got to find, what's the trend or the thing that has happened the most in a row and go the other direction. So I wish him luck, but it's not a way I think that it'll be profitable long term, just blindly betting. I've seen, again, 21 straight on a roulette table, red.
I mean, the mathematical probability of him never getting one that's a good build-up. Like, I say we follow Carlos, just betting teams that are due, and then we'll see how long it takes for him to actually find a team that's due.
Here's the thing: on the other end, why aren't you betting against the team that's lost 4 or 5 in a row if they could lose 9 or 10 in a row? Like, you could win 5 in a row yourself. Like, there's just no actual like scientific evidence reasoning. Flies it by.
I see him.
You got 12 minutes, man. $500 going in the jar if Qwan can catch that fly. I got the cash on me. I'm adding it. He's got 2 minutes at the break. In about a minute, 661-515 is your bets. We will have one more chunk before Ray is on to take your calls. You know what I actually think is interesting, though? I gotta talk about it a little bit. We're talking WNBA. I got this Instagram post last night from Sabrina Ionescu, plays for the Liberty. She said, we've been at the airport for 9 hours. Then the flight gets canceled. We play tomorrow. I'm sick. They're playing the Fever, who apparently might be the worst WNBA team in like the last decade. But you can get 3.5 points right now with the Fever, pushing 4 some spots like Chris. And they're going up against a New York team that was like having to cancel after waiting in the airport for 9 hours, probably didn't sleep well. I think that's an extremely interesting handicap. It opened even lower. I'm not sure, but I just wanted to throw that out there. People that are following along, they can take a shot if they'd like. Again, 2 more minutes. We'll be back. It's 661-515-BETS to take your calls, your bets, and your chance at some cash at the end of July. I'm Preston Johnson with Qwan Young. We'll talk to you soon. Welcome back to Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV. Welcome to those tuning in through the Game Plus Network. Happy to have you. Happy to have you this entire week. Welcome Qwan Young back. Welcome myself. I'm Preston Johnson. I'm hosting. Rumor has it we have Ray G potentially getting on a little bit early to talk and break down the SEC. I want to find out about his reactions to my futures bets in the SEC, if there's any he disagrees with and he agrees with. I actually, when I was in Dallas a few weeks back, I had a dinner with Ray, and there was something we disagreed on. I don't recall if it was NBA or if it was, maybe it was TCU football. We had talked a little bit. And anyway, I love arguing and disagreeing with people. So this could end up being good. If he agrees with everything that I like, then maybe it isn't. But I also want to find out if he has any insights or thoughts on some of the other schools within the SEC. So we'll bring him on here shortly. We will extend the Qwan fly catching $500 prop to 140. No. Okay, you really need. Okay,
It's a lot happening during this show. It's pretty hands-on. I think.
that's why I was confident just putting $500 out there. But okay, we'll go till 2:00, and if the show goes longer than 2, it doesn't matter. But we might end up before then. We'll just say whenever the show ends. Then how about that? Let's just do whenever the show ends. I give in. We'll give it to you guys. $500 if Qwan can catch this fly. That if you didn't hear it earlier, I'm serious. It's spooking me out how unlikely it is that a fly could make its way from outdoors to where this studio is on the 4th floor of an office building. The only way up to the floor is elevators, and there's 100 of these doors. I feel like it's a sign. I'm not sure what for. I'm a little superstitious, all things considered, for like an analytical sports bettor. There's something going on. I haven't figured it out. If anyone has any ideas, please call later and tell us why the fly is in the studio. He's friendly, at least. Hasn't been too bad. He only landed on my mic once.
Are you sure the fly's friendly?
Well, don't.
I mean, I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious.
Was that a joke?
Yeah.
That was so bad. Can we delete it? Can we
No,
cut back?
Listen.
Can we roll this segment back?
Listen, that's high quality.
That
writing.
wasn't even a dad joke.
That's Michael Scott. I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious. There you go. See, it's the delivery.
When you think of it, picturing Michael Scott, it's like, okay, that makes a ton of sense. When Qwan did it, I was like, why is he here right now? Why are you the way that you are?
Why are you? I'm with you.
Do we have Ray ready?
We do not.
We don't? All right, we'll get that set up, guys. If you do have a call, again, 661-515-BETS is the phone line. Feel free to call in. I will start reviewing a few of the bets with you guys. If you missed the last 4 days, we recapped and went through every team. Do you have that graphic you can hit up at least for now so I can have it to go off of? It was just my futures, like recap through 4 days. Perfect. We talked Alabama, Clemson, and A&M the first day. Those are my top 3 teams in the SEC. I have A&M, my 7th best team in the country. Georgia, 4th. Alabama, number 1, like they are for most people. But I like getting the hook on the 17. My projection is 16, just from a sheer numbers perspective. And I think there is a little bit of upside in general playing against this entire experience thing, which we've talked about plenty. But for those that aren't aware, because of the extra year of eligibility, the NCAA granted everybody. We have 77% average returning production per team. Generally, it's 63%. So this is just like a wild line. I'm pulling up right now my other sheet. I think I had 16. So I think Alabama's like 115th in returning production, and Miami's like in the top 12. So there's a big discrepancy there. D'Eriq King is apparently, all word is that he's healthy and fine coming off the injury last year, and I just think the 70.5 is too tall. So going with that, love Clemson, which you can actually get 4.5s and 5s. Now it's opened up some more spots. At the time we did it, it wasn't open at other books, but I know Chris was 5 as of last night, then 4.5. Jazz PPH, if those listening know what that is, you can look at Jazz. They're 4.5. I like it 3.5 or better. Georgia 8-1. Again, JT Daniels at quarterback. I think that's going to be massive as far as their upside offensively and the potential there. And then a few season win totals, which we'll talk more with Ray. And then a Heisman long shot, which I'm curious what his thoughts are. We're going to take a break right now before we go and have Ray on the other end. This is Last Word Cheetah, again brought to you by Bets TV. Phone line 661-515-BETS. Stay tuned. We'll talk to you soon. Welcome back to Last Word Cheetah. I am Preston Johnson alongside Qwan Young. We're going to be getting Ray G on to talk SEC futures here shortly. Appreciate everyone that's been calling in so far. We have 2 bets to this point. Carlos wanted to go baseball, WNBA, and he went with Seattle -6.5. And then we had, who was the first call? Do you remember off the top of your head? I'm already forgetting. It was Sarab. First quarter over. Sarab, first quarter over. He's like 5-0 on those. He's going for 6-0 first quarter playoff overs since we launched the show. He's using the Sunday game. Obviously, it's the only one left in the NBA, so we'll be going with that. We good?
No.
All right. We will be good eventually. We will get Ray on. We probably, at this point, I think we're just going to have him call into the phone line and go audio if we can't get his camera up and rolling. But we're going to be talking SEC. You want to throw the graphic back up one more time for those that can see? These are the bets that I think are worthwhile making futures-wise or week one-wise. We got through Georgia earlier before we had to go to break. Tennessee under 6.5. Anything -150 or better there on the juice. The best price I saw, at least before we went over it yesterday, was -125. Vanderbilt over the 3.5. Someone messaged me yesterday and said that they found a 3 on Vanderbilt at -140 as opposed to the plus money on the 3.5 at like +105, and asked which is preferable, and it is 3 at -140. So if you have that option or you have access to a 3 at -140 on Vanderbilt, I think that's better than 3.5 at plus money, or bet some on both if you want. But yeah, the volume to push at 3, like a half win there for that juice, is well worth it, especially a half win for a team that, you know, I think on average does win 4. So I think that was well worth it. And then, man, Matt Corral, I'll hype him up every day if we have to. 30 to 1 or better is where I would still say it's worth snagging. It's still out there. 50 to 1 is where it initially opened a couple weeks back. I just think, for one, shout out Tailgate Tent again. Based on the predictive points added metric, he kind of did a weighted runs created plus version of that, and kind of relative to the rest of the league and the rest of the country, I should say, by position, Matt Corral finished 3rd in this weighted predicted points created plus metric that Tailgate 10 threw out. Number 1 was Mac Jones. Number 2 was Kyle Trask. They're in the NFL. Justin Fields was 4. He's in the NFL. Brock Purdy, Sam Howell are the only other 2 guys, and I think the top 10 that are even returning to play college football. So I like Corral's shot. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, year 2. The offense is going to be there, and I keep saying this, and I know it's a stretch, but if their bottom-end defense can at least get to average to maybe even below average, it's enough to get them to maybe 10 wins or 9 wins. And so this is a bet on a team that I think on average does win about 7.5 games. That's what their season win total is. But in the times they go 9 or 10, and Matt Corral's numbers are just going to be absolutely insane. And maybe they pull an upset over Alabama on the resume too, which they almost did anyway last year. Like, I just have to have a piece of that. There's just I think the upside's too high there, and it's kind of the variance of the wide distribution of the results for Ole Miss this season. If Corral gets hurt, like they only end up going. They have John Rispumley, my boy, backing them up, but I mean it's probably like a 3 or 4 win season. So I just think it's extremely wide. Let's take a longer shot and try to capitalize, and we'll roll with that. So those are my bets. Has Ray called in yet? 2 more minutes, we said. All right, 2 more minutes. Let me check. We're new with Anthem. We're new with Game Plus Network. All right, our break. We have 7 minutes. So if we can get Ray on, we'll still get him in for about 5 minutes. If we have anybody on the line, 661-515 bets. We can take some more bets from you guys for either the weekend NBA game, or we can go baseball today. There's a massive WNBA slate. I'm curious if anyone has bet that Liberty Fever matchup after seeing Sabrina Ionescu's Instagram story. They were stuck in the airport for 9 hours waiting for this flight. Then it gets canceled, and this is last night late. She posts it. She said she's feeling sick. They have to travel to Indiana to play a game today. I'm very intrigued to see now the market's actually moved up and bet on the Liberty anyway. I think the number was short from that perspective. But when you're looking at the actual situational spot here, which is extremely unique, I am very intrigued. So we will see if the Fever can pull it out. I think the 3.5 pushing 4, a little bit too extreme. I would go Indiana. I'd bet on the team that did not sleep and just spend. Have you ever spent 9 hours at an airport before? Actually, did I tell this story on the show when I went to Denver like 2 weeks ago? And I flew in. It was a late flight. We did the show. Then I had a few hours to kill. I fly in. I land in Denver at 11:20-ish. So it's later. But this has never happened. Okay, the first part has happened. You can switch off the graphic, by the way, if you want, while you're in the midst of that. People can look at my freshly, groomed beard that I went out of my way to get this morning. Got my hair cut, manicure. Really, not ashamed. So I landed 11:20. Everyone gets there. You have to wait on the tarmac sometimes. Sometimes it's a while. You got to wait for the planes in line or whatever BS they try to tell you. This is an all-timer. Never heard it before. It's always something new. This one was extremely new. We waited for an hour and 20 minutes total. So it could have been a lot worse. But at about an hour in, they finally told us what was going on after making a few things up. They said, if anyone has ever heard of this, I'd be shocked. First time, I think. They could not get the gate door open. They said that they had locked it. They forgot that there was another plane still coming that night, and they needed to get some security crew to come pop it open for us. And so that's why we were waiting over an hour after landing. So, man, airport stuff is just so brutal. Airplane stuff, I was actually talking about it with Samuel, DFS guy on Twitter the other day. He was waiting in the airport. It's just, especially if you have little kids, I think he had 2 little kids he was trying to fly with and travel with. So if you're in 9 hours, you're this basketball team, you got to go play another game the next day, and then your plane gets canceled, and I haven't even checked to see how they eventually got to Indiana. It's just a weird spot, super flat. I'm going to be really intrigued to follow that one. It starts in about 2.5 hours, so we'll see. What was that?
Go to break.
We're going to a break right now instead of 1:39. All right, we can go to a break now. We'll talk to Ray. Hopefully we'll have him lined up, set up on the other side. I still want to see and get his reactions based on SEC, what I've bet, what he agrees, disagrees with, and then we'll see if there's anything I missed because he's going to go through what he's bet and what he likes. We'll do that on the other side. This is Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV. Stay tuned, guys.
Ray, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. It's not letting me use my camera. So it's just a built-in one. So I mean, Kevin said push it and do it another fucking day, but it's up to y'all, man. I could do it audioly. He wants it on video, but it's not. You said what?
I see you now.
Yeah, this is my built-in, bro. This isn't. I'm not going live with this shit. Like I got a full fucking Sony A6400 here, and it won't let me switch to it.
Okay. All right.
So
you wanna?
Kevin said push it. That's what he just texted me. He was like, push it. Don't even fucking do it. Like push it for another day.
Okay.
So we got to figure it out. It won't let me. Like I'm in the settings. I'm switching to the camera, and it's not going. So just something happened. Got caught up, but he doesn't even want me to jump on.
Yeah, it keeps like blinking in and out.
Yeah, it's fucked, bro. So can you hear me okay?
All right. Sorry about that, man. We'll get you on after we got to get back from break.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Last Word Cheetah. No fly has been captured. I just saw it go by again. $500 on the line if Qwan can get this fly before the show ends. Unfortunately, too many technical difficulties with Ray. We're going to get him on. We're actually going to have him on weekly to basically tell me where I'm wrong and right about my futures. SEC was this week. We just kind of went through most of them earlier on that last segment. Big Ten next week. We're going to do a conference a week until the season starts. We'll get him set up. Don't worry about that. We'll have him on. Maybe we can have him on even on Monday to talk SEC still and get some reactions from him. But luckily, we had our very own Detroit native, also Atlanta native, also South Carolina native, also Florida native, also Canadian native, also Southern California native. Qwan Young, put together a little something on his Detroit Lions.
Listen,
And you're wearing the shirt. You got it.
I'm gonna let you down on catching the fly, just like the Lions have let me down for 34 years. So we're doing NFL futures again. The other day I covered the Houston Texans. We're going backwards if you guys can't tell.
We are going backwards.
Listen,
I don't know what
that fly came at me.
You thought you had a
He
chance.
came at me, bro, and that was the one chance you guys had. But right now, we're going to play this clip talking about the Lions and their NFL futures.
What's up, everybody? It's me, DeQuan Young, and today I'm back to talk more NFL futures. On this edition, we're talking Detroit Lions, and if you're a Lions fan, we're talking well off into the future for you. This offseason, the Lions decided to retool, which is just a fancy way of saying rebuild with what we have. But what they had last year was absolute trash. After a 5-11 season where they fired Matt Patricia, finished 4th in the NFC North, a division they haven't won since 1991, and just flat out stunk up the field every Sunday, this offseason, their #1 overall draft pick from the 2009 draft and best quarterback in franchise history asked for a trade. It's not all bad though. The coach they hired has a great personality and he's hilarious, so I'm sure that'll translate well on the field. The Lions do have a few good pieces. After drafting Penei Sewell, the O-line is expected to be the best unit on this team. Using the FTN offensive line rankings, the Lions Hoggies are ranked 6th in the NFL, with the only questionable spot being the right guard. They also expect breakout years from TJ Hockenson and DeAndre Swift. With the loss of Matthew Stafford, in steps Jared Goff. Now, I know you guys want to entertain the Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff comparisons, but stop. Please. Get some help. Seriously. The defense in Detroit is also one that could improve a little bit. After setting franchise record for both points allowed and yards allowed in the season, the Lions picked up Michael Brockers. That's about it. So, if you're looking to make a futures bet on the Detroit Lions, here's some of the prices. Check out the player prop shop on FTN Daily to get specific props and prices on players like DeAndre Swift and TJ Hockenson. This has been DeQuan Young talking NFL futures for the Detroit Lions. Next up, we got the New York Jets.
Okay, next up, the New York Jets. I hadn't looked yet to see who was up next. I am intrigued. Off the top of my head, my assumption is I definitely don't have them ranked as the 3rd worst team in the league. But they're the Jets, so you also have to account for that. They might be.
I may be off.
All right. Too. If it's not, it's fine. I was a little taken aback. I mean, Zach Wilson is right here, starting for the Jets. Like I can't not love New York this year. So we'll see. By the way, you said seek help. I think at one point in the video. Who are you talking to again? Is it Lions fans that think they have a shot?
No, these are the fans that are comparing Jared Goff to Matthew Stafford. So it's basically what I've been seeing from Lions fans is, hey, we lost Matthew Stafford, but Jared Goff is equally or as capable as Matthew Stafford.
Super Bowl Jared Goff?
Super Bowl participant.
Participant.
Yes.
I believe you also said, is this real? Again, I'm not super historian in the NFL. The greatest quarterback in franchise history, Matthew Stafford, is he the greatest Detroit Lions quarterback like you guys have ever had?
It goes Bobby Lane. He had 15,000 passing yards for Detroit. Stafford is #1 with over 40,000. Bobby Lane, and then I believe it's Scott Mitchell or Charlie Batch. Not Charlie
Batch?
It's Scott Mitchell. It's somebody really, really bad.
Oh,
yeah.
I understand a little more now, what you guys are going through.
No, you don't. You think you know.
When you say Charlie Batch is your
He was
third best quarterback in franchise
and he took over after Scott Mitchell got injured. It was one of those Brady things, but it didn't pan out the way that Brady panned out. He took over for 2 years and then went to Pittsburgh. So it goes Stafford at 40 plus, Bobby Lane at 15,000, and then I think Scott Mitchell at 10.
He went to Pittsburgh in 2000. Oh, check this out. 2002, he didn't even play. I don't know if it was an injury, but 2003, he went to Pittsburgh. He hardly played again in the league. You know how he left 2001?
How?
The Lions played in 9 games, started 9 games, 0-9.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was Charlie Batch. So if he's the 3rd or 4th greatest quarterback in Lions franchise history, I am sorry. The previous seasons, 8-7, 6-4, 5-7 when he was under center. He really only played 1 full season. Brutal, man. Do we have a caller? I know we have Mike calling in.
Do have a caller.
It's hard to, man, these Texans and Lions ones are brutal, but I'm
Brutal.
trying to find ways to root them in, and it's just these teams are going to be tough. Mike, you're on a losing streak. After I talked you up, after you win 5 straight plus 5.9 units, now we can't find a W. Just tell me what's going on. It's a safe place. You can let it out.
Man, Cheetah, I guess that'll go along with your bad beats. I want to call it broken play, but every play is a broken play in the NBA. So, we bounce back with a W.
Let me butt in. I'm going to interject real quick because I know you're calling it a bad beat, but I also think Crowder had like 3 threes in the first quarter, and he had 9 pretty quickly. And I know he hit that 15-footer late in the 4th to go to 11 and go over, but he was sitting 9. Like I thought it was completely dead. And the fact that you even had a chance late, I was somewhat surprised. Now you're going to win that more often than not at that point with 2 minutes left, but. I don't know. Crowder was getting his shots up. He hit a few. I got to give him some credit. Give him some love. All right, go ahead. Take us to what you like today.
So I'm going to go with UFC over the weekend. I'm going with Conor McGregor. I'm going with him winning with a knockout. That last fight, that was the first time, he was put down outside the fight with Mayweather, of course, which wasn't a knockdown out, different sport. But I think it's just the lower body work that Poirier put in that last fight. I think Conor will come back and learn from that. So we taking Conor and we taking him with a knockout.
You know the price on knockout that you were looking at earlier?
I don't have. I was just gonna go with whatever you had.
All right, I'll pull it up. I'll find out while we're pulling this because I remember I think it was Casual called yesterday.
2 days ago.
And he won at plus money on McGregor.
Money line. Yeah, he's plus 100 money line. So that's the only thing I saw today.
You can get Conor McGregor by KO, TKO, or DQ plus 140. So I'll give you that. Does that work?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, we'll lock it in. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate the call. Good luck.
All right, guys. Take it easy. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too.
He teed up the bad beats, and I didn't.
It wasn't even a bad beat. That's true. Where's your little?
Hold on. Oh, come on, we gotta get the audio. Let's play it one more time. I love that.
Like a 3 out of 10 for effort. It's all right, man, Qwan. You're figuring things out. I'll say this though, it wasn't even a bad beat. When Crowder had 9, like 8 minutes into the game, like it's a loss. So often it's not a bad beat.
I was texting him.
Of course.
And it was like the start of I think after he hit that 3rd three, I started laughing at him. I was like, oh man, why'd you pick that? And then 3rd quarter happened and nothing. Like Crowder, I don't think he even put up a shot. And then like he got his first attempt. I think it was like a corner 3. And
he missed that.
Came up
it
short.
rimmed out actually.
Yeah, something like that. And then I started texting Mike, and it started dwindling down. And Crowder came off and hit that elbow chop.
He doesn't even shoot twos.
No.
So I mean, I'll give him a little bit of sympathy. Crowder's always 3s. We do have a caller. All right, we'll bring him on. Welcome to Last Word, Cheetah. This is Preston. Who are we talking to? We got you? Who are we talking with right now?
Hey, Preston, it's Kyle from Boulder.
Hey, there we go. What's up, man? What do you got for us today? By the way, you faded your friend, right? That was you yesterday, first inning, and Darvish did his thing where he always gives up runs.
No, someone different. I played, what did I play? I played Drew Holiday under 19.5.
Which also won, even though he shot like 21 times or something.
He
still missed everything.
Won every bucket. I'm like, he's gonna clips this easy.
He hit his first 3 buckets, I think. Yeah, those first couple minutes. You're right. So I mixed you up with someone else, but you did get a W there. So Drew was a nice call.
I'm gonna also go to the UFC this weekend. It's a prelim fight It's Ryan Hall by submission +4. I played it at +400, but whatever you got, I'm good with.
Wow.
I've taken a few days off this month, so something to try and get me back in the lead or in contention. So I'm not a big UFC guy, but a couple people I respect on Twitter have been talking about Ryan Hall and how he's super difficult to prepare for since there's so many different angles that he can get you at. From my understanding, when he does win, it is by submission, or at least more often than not when he does win. So I'm going to take a shot at Ryan Hall by submission +400-ish or whatever you got.
I just looked at two spots quickly that I could. +375. I'm going to lock you in at that if that's cool.
Cool. That works.
All right, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate the UFC, by
Thanks,
the way.
Preston.
It's new to me. And so just for people, for some context, we do have to hit a break right now. Hall, two-way, just for him to win, it's like +195, +200. But the submission, so it's +375, almost pays twice as much. So he's taking a shot there. I like it. I like that we got some UFC sweats this weekend. We'll be back on the other side. We'll take a few more calls. We'll wrap up the show. This is Last Word. We'll talk to you soon. Welcome back, everybody. This is Last Word Cheetah. Good news. Qwan did not catch the fly yet. Again, that's $500 going into the prize pool for July for the callers that have the most W's at the end of the month. But he was smart enough to finally think of something like, hey, maybe I should just open up the door and it could leave. So it took him until the final 4 minutes before we end this show, final segment, to open up the door. But now I'm sitting here sweating if this fly is going to actually take off and go around the corner. I still can't believe it got up here in the first place. Quan's up and dancing. He's trying his best, you guys. He's trying to get you $500. I'm still trying to get over, and I'm not kidding. I actually asked somebody else about this because we had Casual Call a few days ago, and I don't follow UFC. I don't try to bet it. Will not pretend that I know anything there. But this McGregor fight, is it Dustin? Is it Poirier? Poirier? Like that? Cool. We got it. French, probably. Even though it says USA next to his name here on the card. He beat McGregor when McGregor was laying like -330. Just was it 6 months back, more or less, he said, when they fought, or maybe even more recent than that. And I was trying to think of another like market event where you had a -300s favorite. The market's usually pretty sharp, like where it closes, that it is what it is. He says he thought the public sentiment around McGregor had risen that line to a price that was way too high. But now flipping back, McGregor's an underdog. Like that's pretty intense. Like you don't see that in markets, and you also don't. I know fighting. You have very limited events, very limited data to really use to take into account to place a bet. And so where I'm, you're doing NBA, you're working on thousands of games that these teams have played now over the course of the season, minutes, possessions. A fight's like one fight, and they matched up once. And so my personal thought process is, hey, let's look at the closing line. That's probably the truest thing. Even if McGregor loses one time, minus 330 implies he's probably going to win about 3 out of 4. So then why is this price plus money unless there was like an injury or something? So I'm very intrigued now as someone who doesn't bet UFC at all, doesn't follow it at all, that you had a guy who in his last fight against this dude like laying 300s plus money now. I think you have to bet McGregor. And casual, again, he says the 330 was out of control, but so is the plus money. You think somewhere in the middle is probably fair. And so then it hit me. I was like, are the UFC markets like really this inefficient? Is it really kind of this wobbly? I don't know. I am going to be following this now. I don't generally watch it, but are you into UFC much? Do you follow much at all? I know you know how to pronounce his name correctly, so you got that at least.
I would say I'm a casual. I watch big fights.
Okay. You gonna watch this one then?
I'm gonna watch this one. Watching last time, it's just after the Khabib fight, I think it's just one of those Father Time things. Conor's not the same fighter he was, and I don't think you can really recapture that glory. So he's good. He's Conor McGregor, like probably top 5 UFC fighters as far as entertainment, spectacle, and everything. But Father Time never loses. So I think I don't know about the plus money or the lines or anything and tossing it up. I just don't see Conor being the Conor from a few years ago or the Conor that, I think it was Nate Diaz went up against, but it would be. What are you seeing the fly?
I don't see it. He saw me gazing around the room.
Yeah, I just don't think Conor's the same Conor he was. And as far as being a dog, the only thing that I can say is it's Conor McGregor, so he's still got a shot.
It's been like 15 or 20 seconds. I don't see it. Did it fly out the door?
I would assume so.
I know we got about 1 minute left. I'm sweating. I need to make sure this fly is in here now. Otherwise, I lose $500.
Let's close the door and see.
Okay, so this works because it was like every few minutes I would see it. So we'll know. We'll confirm after the fact. But he closed the door now, so he certainly couldn't leave now. If he actually got it out of here, it was essentially at the buzzer. I don't know why you didn't think of that earlier. It could have just flown out. I know we're not probably supposed to leave the door open while we're recording a live show, but that was the way. That was the way. I'm excited for this UFC. By the way, no official last word. If you want to throw up the graphic, if you can pull off a buzzer beater graphic, I still think Indiana's a good bet in the WNBA. The craziness at the airport, the New York Liberty, and I just got to fade it. Take the 3.5. If you can get the 4, take it. We'll be back next week on Monday, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. This was Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV. You guys have a good weekend.
All right, bro.